Alright, so I remember my first concussion. It was in about the 8th grade, and I was trying to block a shot in soccer, and I got hit in the head, stumbled off the field, didn't really know what was going on. And later that day, I started to feel better. I didn't really feel any side effects or anything, so I went back to school just the next day. And I went to the doctor after school, and he said I had a bad concussion, and that this was a serious thing. And I was shocked. My mom was shocked. Because we didn't really think it was a big deal. We didn't really know that much about concussions, and there wasn't any resources for us to know anything, so we really had to trust the doctor. And about a week later, I was starting to feel better, and I just went back into sports even though the doctor said I should wait 3 weeks. So this story, although it happened just 5 years ago, really highlights just the lack of awareness about concussions and how far it's came just in the last 5 years. When you compare this story to my experience as a soccer referee, the league I refereed did not allow heading at all. If a player got hit in the head, you had to stop the game. They had to go out the field and they weren't allowed to come back in. And it was very serious because if I hadn't treated a concussion right, if I hadn't handled the situation correctly, I could have been sued or fired from my job. So it was really a big contrast, and this contrast in awareness about concussions that's changed over time has really been a cause of high-profile concussions in the media that has allowed research to come out and be strengthened. So to really understand why we are now more aware of concussions than even in the last 5 years, we have to take it back to the beginning of youth sports here. And in the beginning of youth sports, it was mainly just a select group of young men playing football, and it really hammered home these masculine ideas of playing through injuries, toughness, self-dedication, and also, as you can see here, the equipment was not really up to par of what we see today in preventing head injuries. And a head injury was really just considered getting your bell rung, like in Looney Tunes here. It happened, you might black out for a second or two, but then you're right back to play. And really the difficulty here is that we didn't know that much about concussions, and as we moved towards the 1960s, 1970s, we started to learn more and more about concussions. And we learned that a concussion is caused by a blow to the head. It has symptoms of dizziness, loss of memory, nausea, feeling slow. And we knew these short-term symptoms, but we didn't really know any long-term symptoms. And that's part of the problem is there's not a bruise, there's not a broken bone to really show you that you have a concussion. It really comes to these symptoms. And that's why awareness is so key in preventing concussions. And really what started to bring about awareness was some high-profile cases in the NFL. We see Junior Seau here, a Hall of Fame linebacker, who actually committed suicide due to having CTE, which is a debilitating brain disorder caused by having too many concussions. And after Seau's death, it was heavily reported. And Roger Goodell in the NFL started to really do some research and spreading awareness around concussions. And seeing these long-term effects of complete loss of memory, having a slower cognitive abilities, and just feeling all around slower of concussions really started to raise awareness. And there's even more high-profile cases in the NFL. Case Keenum and Cam Newton both started to play through concussions. It was handled very poorly in the NFL. These games were broadcast to 10% of TVs in the nation, and people started to see these adverse effects of concussions and start to become aware of them. And really, concussions started to dominate the headlines going into the early 2010s, moving towards today. They were just all over the place. Concussions were really a hot topic, and you really just had to know about them. And this increasing awareness due to the spread of media led to the regulations that we see today in youth sports. The Heads Up program created by the CDC has training for coaches, parents, players, referees. I had to go through Heads Up training to become a ref, and it really shows what you need to do and how to see if someone has a concussion so that people are better prepared to address these problems. And as you can see in this chart here, concussion diagnoses have gone up 500% just in the last 5 years due to this increased awareness in concussions. So really, this concussion awareness has really sprung from the heavy media coverage of these high-profile concussions, and it's really helped make a safer environment for our youth athletes today. Thank you.